Part 135. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1341. Okay. I would like to see what kind of person can become your friend. Huo Yanner had a smile on her face, and after giving a few instructions to the fire spirit demon clan behind her, she followed Xiaoxian. After feeling Huo Yanner approaching, Xiaoxian still really felt that something was a little different. After all, this Huo Yanner was also a 9th grade monster, so it goes without saying that she was strong. With her by my side, at least he should have no one to fear in the flame cemetery. Therefore, he took Huo Yanner and walked outside. Halfway there, he felt that the environment in the valley had also changed to a certain extent. It's no longer the burning feeling before. On the contrary, after Xiao Leiyan's holy fire was swallowed up, the valley became a lot cooler. Soon, Xiaoxian also found Huo Ling and the waiter. These two people were also waiting anxiously at this moment. For them, after feeling the changes in the little holy fire land, they were also very nervous. At this moment, they were slightly relieved to see Xiaoxian walking out safe and sound. Master, are you okay? After you left, I'm still a little worried after thinking about it. There have been too many changes in this little holy fire land. I'm really worried about what will happen to you. Bai Ling also said anxiously. Seeing Bai Ling's anxious look, Xiaoxian also smiled and said, "What are you worried about? Didn't I come out well?" At this moment, it seemed that he heard Xiaoxian's words. Bai Ling also breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Master, have you seen the leader of the fire spirit beast group? It seems that some unusual changes have occurred in this little holy fire place just now." "Yes, the flames seem to have disappeared," the waiter also said. "Of course, because Xiao Leiyan's holy fire has been swallowed up," Xiaoxian also said without concealment. "Now, the name of this place may need to be changed." "What? Little Leiyan's holy fire was swallowed up? What's going on? Could it be that he was swallowed by Huo Zhong, the sect leader of True Fire Academy?" Bai Ling was stunned. She couldn't help but ask, "This seems a little abnormal, doesn't it?" Regarding this, Huo Yanner was relatively calm and said directly, "Yes, this little Leiyan holy fire has been swallowed up, and the person who swallowed it is right in front of you. Are you?" Bai Ling couldn't help but ask after seeing Huo Yanner. "My name is Huo Yanner. He is the leader of the Fire Spirit Beast clan." Huo Yanner looked at Bai Ling with interest and said directly, "I didn't expect that in this flame cemetery, there would be a human race with an innate flame holy body. It's really rare." Hear this introduction. Bai Ling couldn't help but be stunned, while the waiter next to him sat down on the ground. The fire spirit beast, the king of beasts? It's actually a woman. The waiter's eyes widened, as if he had heard some strange story. "After the 9th grade monster, you also have the ability to transform, so it naturally looks like a human form," Xiaoxian said directly. This. Even with Xiaoxian's explanation, the waiter was too surprised and speechless. "However, just now you said that my master swallowed Xiao Leiyan's holy fire. Is this true?" Bai Ling was more concerned about the fact that he couldn't believe that Xiaoxian really swallowed Xiao Leiyan's holy fire. "Of course it's true. Next, Xiaoxian plans to devour the real Leiyan holy fire," Huo Yanner said directly. When she heard what Xiaoxian meant, she was also surprised, and seemed to understand Xiaoxian's purpose. This really surprised her, and she quickly realized it without hesitation. But found that Xiaoxian had already left. Almost all the cultivators of the Flame Cemetery disagreed and did not think that Xiaoxian could successfully comprehend. However, Xiaoxian did not pay attention to them now. With Huo Yanner protecting the law by his side, he could comprehend with peace of mind. Under such circumstances, this situation also surprised everyone present, and they all looked at him in disbelief. Under the burning of Xiao Leiyan's holy fire, the original innate flame bloodline in her body seemed to have faint signs of awakening, just like a piece of ice that was about to melt. You know, ever since she knew that she had a body of innate flames, she had thought of various ways to awaken her body, but in the end they all failed. She didn't expect that Xiao Xian would be awakened so easily today. Now facing the real Lei Yan holy fire, Xiao Xian was not afraid. Instead, he began to collect the source of the avenue on the Lei Yan holy fire bit by bit. At that moment, he also directly summoned the little Lei Yan holy fire on his body to help moisturize Bai Ling's body. Such a way of understanding. Xiao Xian's understanding of the great Dao is also growing crazily, and at the same time, his strength has naturally increased. At this moment, under his control, Xiao Leiyan's holy fire did not have the violent attributes it had before, but was as docile as a well-behaved child. Because of the previous experience of enlightenment. Then came the second thread, the third thread, the fourth thread. But now, Xiao Xian has no intention of explaining anything to them. A faint white smoke emerged from Xiao Xian's head, and he fully understood Lei Yan's holy fire. Xiao Xian did not hesitate. Huo Yaner is so smart. Because Xiao Leiyan's holy fire has been swallowed up and understood by Xiao Xian. After saying this, Bai Ling and the waiter were completely shocked. Looking at each other, they also focused on Xiao Xian. At this time, they really discovered something unusual about Xiao Xian. When she awakened the ancient flame body, she opened her eyes again. Time passed minute by minute. At the same time, Bai Ling also felt it clearly. Now he is also in the serious dragon god realm. This, I know something. At that moment, Xiao Xian also turned around and asked Huo Yaner beside him, Chief Huo, do you know where else the holy fire exists? Perhaps Xiao Leiyan's holy fire can help you awaken the body of innate holy fire in your body. After successfully comprehending Lei Yan's holy fire, soon, he understood a trace of the origin of the avenue from Lei Yan's holy fire. 2 hours later. At this moment, Xiao Xian has begun to try to understand the real Lei Yan holy fire in the flame cemetery. He also felt a trace of the origin of the avenue in the avenue continent, which also moved his heart. Since he could understand the origin of the avenue from the holy fire, he really had to seize this opportunity. This really made her excited. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1342. The following few days. Relying on the natural sensitivity of monsters to flames, Huo Yaner took Xiao Xian to search all over Nanzan Hai's looking for various holy fires. From the bottom to the top. All kinds of holy fires, as long as they face Xiao Xian, they will be able to understand the origin of the avenue like threads. This scene also left the cultivators, including Huo Yaner, dumbfounded. At the same time, as Xiao Xian's Dao origin gradually increased, his strength also increased by leaps and bounds, and he soon broke through the dragon god realm and reached the saint realm. Moreover, as the number of devoured holy fires increases, his strength is still increasing and rising, as if there is no end, which makes Huo Yaner present stunned. Saint realm, demigod realm, true god realm. Soon, under Xiao Xian's almost heaven-defying cultivation speed, his aura and strength also increased rapidly. For such a powerful force, Xiao Xian also felt that the origin on the Dao continent was indeed extremely mysterious, and even a trace of it was enough to become a genius treasure between the world. At last, when Xiao Xian devoured the last trace of the number 1 golden flame holy fire, he completely became a cultivator of the true god realm on the Dao continent. At this moment, his face is like a crown jade, and his body is like jade. Xiao Xian's movements were filled with endless majesty of the Great Avenue, and he responded to the endless responses from heaven and earth. It can be said that the current Xiao Xian is Dao, and Dao is Xiao Xian. Huo Yan'er, kneel down and worship the true God Emperor. Huo Yan'er also had a respectful face and knelt on the ground with great respect. Xiao Xian was not stingy with this 9th-grade fire spirit beast that had been following him all the time. The source of the Jinwu Dao flew over and was directly instilled into Huo Yan'er's body. Suddenly, bursts of golden light shone in Huo Yan'er's body. The aura of the great Dao in her body also continued to grow, directly breaking through the 9th level and becoming the strongest 10th level monster on the great Dao continent. Is this the true origin of the Great Avenue? After feeling the changes in your body, Xiao Xian also felt like he was suddenly separated from another world. He had been on the Dao continent for a long time, but it was not until today that he had some unusual understanding of the Dao continent. Sitting cross-legged in the cave where the golden flame is located, Xiao Xian's gaze was like a torch, as if he could penetrate the entire world, and he could also feel the surge of the great avenue between heaven and earth. Brother system. It seems that I have lived up to your expectations and finally figured out some great ways. Xiao Xian also said with a smile. At this time, the system became silent. This couldn't help but arouse Xiao Xian's curiosity. Although his strength is now different from what it used to be, it seems that he has not reached the point of silencing the system. Understand the power of the holy fire. Such a speed of cultivation is indeed a bit unusual, but this is also what makes Xiao Xian outstanding. For the next plan, Xiao Xian was really curious. After all, before coming to Daodao continent, his purpose was to solve the disasters in Tianqian continent and Anhuan continent. Now he has become the true god. It seemed that it was time for him to solve the disaster. The system's silence also made him a little curious and suspicious. After all, at this moment, the system was the external thing that had been following him for the longest time. Logically speaking, the system should at least be pleased with his increase in strength. Why is there no attitude at all? Is it possible that he really doesn't feel anything about the growth of his strength? For a moment, Xiao Xian was a little curious and suspicious. If it is possible, has the host ever thought about returning to the world of normal masters and becoming an ordinary person? The system asked directly. When this question was asked, Xiao Xian was really surprised. Returning to the normal world? Is it the earth? He didn't forget. It is an earthling itself, and when he first came to Tianqian continent, he missed his relatives and friends on earth very much. But later on, I encountered various dangers on the road of cultivators. He also has no intention of returning to earth. Unexpectedly. Now that he has achieved the realm of true God, the system asks him if he wants to return to earth. This really aroused his curiosity. After going through so much hardship, he really wanted to see what was going on with the earth and whether his relatives and friends still existed in the world. This system can help you fulfill your last wish. Help you return to earth. From then on, the system will be shut down permanently. I wonder if the host is willing to agree. The system voice sounded. Hear these words. Xiao Xian's heart was also slightly touched. He really thought about whether he would still bring his divine power with him if he wanted to return to earth. As for returning to earth, what he can do on earth and what stage of time he will return to are all unknown. But who knew that the system would actually give such a choice now? This was something he didn't expect. I do. However, before doing this, I need to solve the catastrophes of Tianqian continent and Honghuan continent. Xiao Xian replied seriously. Okay, the system responded. Then give me a stick of incense. Xiao Xian smiled slightly, quickly formed seals in his hands, and operated a series of complicated protective techniques to directly protect the Tianqian continent and the Great Desolate Continent. As a cultivator in the realm of true gods, Xiao Xian's every move has touched the great avenue of heaven and earth. With just one fingerprint of his, he can naturally change heaven and earth and reshape the world. Not to mention just 2 continents. Even if the entire world changes, it will not cause fluctuations in his heart. It takes less than 1 stick of incense. The catastrophe in the 2 continents was also lifted by Xiao Xian. At the same time, various venerable and powerful men on the Tianqian continent and the Great Desolate Continent also felt these changes. They discovered that the disaster that originally shrouded their world had disappeared silently. This made them instantly happy. However, in the hearts of these powerful people on the continent, the shadow of a person slowly emerged, and that person was Xiao Xian. They understand. For their 2 continents, perhaps only people like Xiao Xian have the ability to change the disaster they are facing. And at this moment, after restarting the system, Xiao Xian also used the system's ability for the last time and returned to the earth. When he opened his eyes again, he could also clearly feel the green trees, flowers, birds, and the fragrance of flowers on the earth. A deep breath of fresh air. Xiao Xian also smiled and continued to walk forward. He understood that what awaited him next would be a new life on earth. Maybe in the mysterious world. He is a venerable and powerful man who can control wind and rain, but on earth, he still wants to be an ordinary person with a little bit of ability.